Steve,
Yeah.
we're a part of a what was it? An intergalactic space conflict. It's been going on for billions of years.
Billions of years, my God.
It was just like he woke up out of a coma and they're like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "We've been part of a intergalactic space wars." Oh
They've been
my
trying to save
God.
us for years, but unfortunately, the artificial intelligence known as Skynet, I mean, not Skynet, but it's definitely Skynet.
What they described as a self-replicating singularity turned out to be a swarm of nanobots.
Yeah, yeah.
It turned out to be Skynet. It was literally the net in the sky. It was Skynet the whole time. Little did you know this was a Terminator prequel.
Yeah, that's what this was.
Terminator's been going on for billions of years.
Oh my God. Moonfall, the movie of the year.
I can't believe this came out in 2022 and
This year.
and the fucking effects looked the way they did.
Oh, they were top notch for sure.
Top notch.
I don't know what they
If
spent
you
their
were
money on. Was
in
it Patrick
kindergarten.
Wilson? Like, is his Conjuring money like finally kicking in and he's just like, nah, I'm worth a lot more to be in your shitty space movie.
I'm literally looking up the budget.
Oh yeah, no, please let me know.
Okay.
I need to,
Moonfall
$7.
2022.
I also need to know how
Budget.
much it made.
Okay.
Yes, but the Moonfall.
For some reason it's a range of numbers, 138 to 146 million.
Oh my God.
Did they flush most of it? Did they just burn most of it?
Oh my God. It was, like 140 million was their budget and box office made 59 million.
Ooh. Didn't even
Oh
come
my
back with any
God.
of that.
Flop.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
That's a flop.
I guess his Conjuring money
Ooh.
isn't that good yet.
Whenever I invest in something, I really only want to make 30% of my money back.
Oh my God.
Wow, I made enough to pay back the actors in this movie, and that was about it.
59 million.
I didn't even pay half of them.
Oh my God.
140 million dollars.
148 million, you said?
140 million.
140 million to tell us that we were a part of an intergalactic space war that has been
Been going on
raging
for
for millions of years.
Oh, and then that one guy became the moon.
Oh my God. I don't think I could say that about any other movie. Hey, it's like at the
You
end
know
of
that
it.
movie where that guy became the moon?
You are the
Oh,
moon
you're talking
now.
about Moonfall?
Yeah, the best movie ever.
Starring Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry, the two best actors ever?
So what am I now? You're the moon.
You are.
You
We
are the
scanned
moon
your
now.
consciousness.
What?
You are
Great.
one with the moon.
And it's a good thing they picked like something good.
Yeah.
'Cause it could have been
great.
And they all were seeing exactly what they needed to see.
Oh my God.
Well, because the ancestors wanted them to.
This is the
some reason.
stupidest concept. Like, all right. Knowing was stupid when
It was
aliens
pretty
showed up.
stupid, but it was also pretty cool.
This was even more stupid when aliens showed up. But
Well, there were no aliens. That's the thing. It was all just like space technology and the moon.
it was.
I've been saying since the beginning about space machines. I've been saying it since the beginning.
They're
Space
real.
machines.
Space
No one believed me
No
about
one
the
believes
space
me.
machines.
Ugh, the moon
Turns out
is a mega structure.
Turns out the moon was a car that makes planets. That's
The
literally-
moon makes planets
We
now.
sought out a galaxy.
Oh my God.
And
I bet.
cultured your planet.
All right. So I bet you if you look deeply enough into this movie, you're gonna see that Elon Musk definitely had a hand in it.
Yeah, you think he was a big producer of this
I
movie?
honestly think this is what he believes when he goes to bed at night. He's like, the moon is a superstructure. It's
I'm
gonna
going
kill us
to
all.
the moon so I can go into the moon hole.
Well, that's why we have to go to Mars. because we can't live on the moon because it's a megastructure. So
that's true.
We got to go to Mars.
When the moon inevitably crashes into the Earth,
Mars,
we're gonna need a home.
Yeah, yeah. He's just making sure we're good either way.
No, it'll just kind of like bounce off the Earth for a couple days. We'll be okay, but like eventually it'll finally crash into us, I guess.
Yeah, if we're fresh out of pudgy nerds to sacrifice with EMPs.
Oh my god.
Excuse me, you want to get a coaster?
Oh my god. It's a coaster.
I'm the commissioner of NASA.
And it's my call.
And it's my call. And you just got your job back.
Come with me if you want to live.
Not yet, Arnold. Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
I missed my cue.
I will see you back on the moon in about 20 minutes.
But for you, it'll be 2,000 years.
Watch out for the gravity.
Little do you know, gravity doesn't affect me. I'm the only person immune to it.
I don't work by gravity's rules. I can't do the accent.
You don't know. I was Mr. Universe. I can lift 2 moons. Mega structure, more like Arnold's breakfast.
Oh my god.
Out of spite, Arnold Schwarzenegger just builds his own mega structure. And
I am the mega structure.
Makes his own planet. No, I'm the governor of this planet now.
I'm the governor of the moon.
I will call it Mega Moon 2.
Terminator 2.
None of
The
you
Mega
guys
Moon.
are invited to my super moon.
Super moon.
I'll make 3 more sequels
Back
to
in
The
action.
Predator and Kindergarten Cop.
Oh my god.
All right, are we putting Arnold away now?
Yeah, Arnold's dead. He died on the
We
moon.
killed him. Actually, the moon killed him. He was
Yeah.
on top of that one mountain that the moon crashed into. My mountain! Okay, now we're done with that. Yeah, can we make sure this podcast is 2.5 hours?
This will be our first ever 2-hour-long episode.
Yeah. There's just so much to unpack.
Oh my god, yes. The plot could have been told over about 20 minutes, but I'm glad they gave us 2 hours and 10 minutes to mull it over.
Thanks, Moonfall.
Anyway, welcome to Every Film in the Book.
Hello.
I'm Steve.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Michael.
And this week we watched the terrific Oscar-nominated movie Moonfall, starring Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry.
Was it really nominated?
It should be.
I think we're playing 2 truths and a lie.
Yeah. Three of those things that I said, out of 3 of them, 2
Are
of
those
them were
actors
false.
correct, or was the Oscar nomination correct? The world
Yeah.
may never know.
Mm.
I mean, you could look this up, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get nominated.
So
Yeah.
strap in for the next 4 hours as we take you minute by minute through this
Moonfall.
cinematic masterpiece where the moon falls down.
Oh my god.
Now, we're going to describe every scene to you in excruciating detail.
Yes.
That could probably be covered in about 5 minutes. We're going to do it in about 40.
We watched it frame by frame. It took us the last 17 hours to get through it.
That's what it felt
So
like.
that'd be terrible.
Oh, my God.
And with a budget of only $140 million. I almost said billion, but $1 million.
No, remember how I was saying how our listeners, like, it gets through most of it and then, like, you're done? This is going to be one of those episodes where they get to about 2 minutes after we start describing the first scene, and then it's all going to drop off.
No, it's going to skyrocket because this movie was so interesting.
They'll be like, tell me more about the green,
'Cause
luscious
this movie
trees.
literally takes you to the moon several times.
And back.
and back.
And one of the
back
times
again
it
and back
takes
again.
2 seconds.
Yeah, about 2 seconds. Because all Patrick Wilson has to do is jump, and he's on the moon.
Remember that time we fell out of the moon and landed on Earth? Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, dude, they did a drive-by mooning.
So just a mooning.
Oh, so this movie, I went into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be a sci-fi movie. And then when it was over, I was like, that wasn't a sci-fi movie. That was like some fantasy drama. I don't know.
No, what did we call it? It was the Lord of the Rings meets Star, like it was the Star
the
Wars.
Lord of the Star Wars.
Right? Basically.
Meets Interstellar.
All we needed was Matt Damon to get stranded somewhere in space.
Yeah.
We
just
had to go
needed-
rescue him.
We needed poop potatoes and we were good to go.
There were no poop potatoes, so I'm sad about that.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
severe lack of that.
Yeah,
and
that's minus points.
I
right
feel
out
like
the
that's
gate.
going to cost it the Oscar nod.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not because it only made like 60 million back.
Nah. This was a hit. We're definitely getting Moonfall 2, the
No,
the
well,
re-mooning.
this was quite a recent release, and
Yeah.
it's not looking good for movies.
No.
No.
Not looking good at all.
No.
I mean, I guess you could say it was at least an original idea to give it anything.
Any ideas
All
are
right.
original if you add 57 layers to it. You can't copy all of that. That's impossible.
When there's like so many things that are copied, it all just like, you know,
my God.
it's all just new then.
Yeah, no. I mean, the concept of the moon being a mega structure that was built by our forefathers on their
Yes.
pilgrimage journey from the Mayflower.
Yes, which like I guess they had their own Earth, but then moved into space, and then they had to move to a different part of space because of nanotechnology. And that's like the origins of the moon,
Yes.
everybody, in case you didn't learn that in your high school science
Yeah,
classes.
so just in case you listened to their lies in high school science class, this is what actually happened.
Oh my God.
One thing I didn't like
Yeah,
was
the whole movie.
the specific part for sure. 2 hours and 10 minutes
Yes.
total runtime.
Yes.
13 seconds explaining what's going on.
Just about, yeah. I'd maybe give it 15
Literally, it's
seconds.
that little spiritual, technological,
It's the ancestor juice.
orgasmic, whatever he did, went into the nether realm,
Yeah, our forefather juice.
right?
All right, if there are people listening to this and you haven't seen the movie, you must be so confused. Like, this was a roller coaster, like, in the last, I don't know, hour and a half of the movie.
No, I swear, this was like in the writing room. It was like, all right, let's see how many lines of coke we can do before we pass out, and just
And then
write
start
whatever
writing
comes
stuff.
to mind.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It definitely was a film that was like, okay, here we're starting. Okay, take it up here. One more level. Like nothing ever went linear. It was always
Right.
on a
just
curve
kept
straight
ramping
up
up.
and getting crazier and crazier and
yeah,
crazier.
and the steps kept getting taller as we
Well,
went.
I mean, just to like sort of, I guess, get into this, I'm about to summarize the first 30 minutes of this movie, and this could have been told in about 5 minutes. So
Alright.
Patrick Wilson is our main character. He's up in space. This is back in 2011. And his space voyage gets attacked by our forefather goo in space. It's like
Forefather
this.
goo.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
that's
this.
That's the
nanotechnology.
parasitic.
Yeah, the parasitic forefather goo.
The nanotechnology.
Yeah, so it's like this big black like robotic cloud in space that like attacks Patrick Wilson's fucking voyage. And of course, you know, they make it back to Earth somehow.
Somehow, unexplained.
Yeah, like just magically. But
It
they
just cuts to the press conference
Yes.
afterwards, doesn't
well,
it?
yeah, because like they're basically like, oh, so what happened up there? And he's like, I was attacked by, you know, this
Alien stuff.
this dark cloud of machinery. It was
And they're
so
like, there's
scary."
no way that could have ever happened in space.
They're like, you're a washed up hero, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like the title says, like, disgraced hero.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it quiet, not to freak people out. But he doesn't keep his mouth shut, so they just ostracize him.
Yeah, they're like, oh, disgraced hero lies about killing an astronaut in space in cold blood.
Yeah, and he's like, that was my friend. My friend
I
died
lost
up
my
there."
friend.
They're like, no, you stabbed him in space trying to recreate
We saw you
Halloween.
rob him. You took his wallet and stabbed him in space.
I saw you go after his car keys. We all know he drove that Mustang.
And then his boss lady was all like, yeah, I mean, I guess it could have been,
Like,
avoided or something.
I mean, like a solar flare could have totally caused micro machines to come out
Well,
of nowhere and attack a
I mean,
spaceship.
you gotta cut her some slack. She knows what happens if she doesn't tell the story the way they want her to.
That's true.
And he's just being stubborn, and she knows it would ruin her career, so she goes along with it.
Well, I mean, Patrick Wilson is used to a lot of skeptics in his line of work. I mean, he's a medium.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
he solves a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure it really helped with being an astronaut.
Yeah, you know, especially with like microorganisms with sentience.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that
Nanobots, Steve. Nanobots.
I will never say nanobot.
that was when the betrayal happened, and he was like, "Well, fuck you, bitch.
He's like, you know what?
I'll never work for you again."
Yeah, he turned on her really fast.
He's
Like,
like,
really
I'm,
hard.
I'm gonna go move into the California hills and never pay my rent again.
And then his wife leaves him, and he has a young son.
Yeah, the family dynamic in this, I'm so confused. So
there isn't one, really.
So
Yeah.
he was married to Halle Berry, but Halle Berry was also married to military guy.
No, I don't think he and Halle Berry were married.
he and the other lady, Michael Pena's wife. That was his ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he said, this is my work wife when they were up in space the first time.
Oh, his work wife.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the son is older, implying that it's his, and then
Right.
the younger one is dark hair, implying that it's Michael Pena's.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Come
Yeah,
on,
so
come
like
on,
they only
Steve,
had
come
that
on,
one
Steve.
kid.
Sorry, I was too distracted by the moon imploding
We didn't know about the moon
to worry about the
Ugh.
family dynamic.
But yeah, so they're setting up some of these characters.
Yeah, but basically this whole 30 minutes is explaining like, all right, Patrick Wilson is a disgraced hero. Everyone thinks he's crazy for what he saw in space.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden, this other fat crazy guy is like, hey, he may have seen something correctly because I think the moon is going to be out of orbit soon. And then as soon as they tell us that bit of information, it immediately cuts to like NASA being like, oh my God, the moon is out of orbit.
And like I said, it just cranked it up a notch.
Yeah.
there.
And you're like, all right.
Okay.
Some
ju-
crazy shit's about to
Yeah,
happen.
like it went from, what's his name? I think his name's like Nick Frost is the actor who played this, the smart dude.
The nerdy fella.
But like it goes from him impersonating Patrick Wilson to all of a sudden NASA being like, oh my God, the moon is out of orbit. And then it going back to Nick Frost being like, I think the moon is out of orbit and we're all going to die. NASA needs
Well,
to know this information.
it just
Yeah.
kind of flip-flopped between the two, and then showed the same thing happening,
Yeah.
just to different people. So
Yeah.
it's, adds a little bit of it felt quite padded.
Yes.
The
But
whole
with-
movie felt padded.
Still, with no explanation besides the moon is falling out of orbit. We don't know why.
Yep.
And that was like all of their scientific
Yeah,
research.
It's
there's your
probably
first.
what, like 40 minutes later when you see like the hole drilled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the start of
Oh,
something's
yeah.
doing it to the moon.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
great.
it's like 40 minutes later. in the
Literally,
film.
that's the first 35 minutes of the movie is them just setting up the idea of the moon being out of orbit.
And the storytelling is weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all over the
It's-
place.
It's lines. It's not really a story. It was just we're just gonna say a sentence. Then I'm gonna say
No,
a
it's like-
sentence. Now I say a sentence. Well, let's go do the thing we
They're
talked
just,
about.
They're just in the room like, okay, all right, so Patrick Wilson's a disgraced hero. Oh my God. More ideas. Let's go.
yeah, the dialogue was like awkward and
Intermittent silences
yeah,
for no reason.
and then like there would be conflict, and then immediately it was just not a problem anymore.
Yeah, like they're like trying to set up like family drama and then like immediately resolve the family
And they're like,
drama.
why don't we forget about this? And
like,
the other one's like,
Can we
okay.
not? Which like, I fucking hate you. I hate you too. But wait, let's not spend our last minutes
Which-
hating each
that-
other. Okay, Dad.
they do that at the start, and it's just like, okay, so now I'm not taking any of this seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a problem. I bet it won't be fixed in the next 3 people talking,
Oh
because
my
they
God.
did do that a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add drama, I guess.
Oh, so this nerdy dude, right?
Yes.
He comes out of nowhere.
Literally
we don't
nowhere.
know who he is, where he came from, what he does. Like, I mean,
We know he's a janitor.
Well, no, he was a janitor, but I think he was using that as a cover, but then he was working at a fast food place, but then also somehow he's like a scientist. Like, I was so confused.
He says at the end he actually wasn't a doctor. He just called himself that.
Yeah,
he
but
said
Cool.
I could just put it on my business cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't give me any sort of like did
Oh,
you go
no.
to college? Do you
No,
have
no,
a
no.
degree
No,
not at
in
all.
anything?
This isn't me defending the movie. This is me just relaying to the people at home the only bit of information that they give us about
Yeah.
what this guy actually is. He's just not a doctor. He just
Not a
wanted to put it
doctor.
on his business card.
Fast food worker, scientist question mark?
Janitor
But
on
you
the
have
weekends?
to hand it to him. He's
I mean,
pretty
he-
sneaky for just a regular guy to be able to break in and well, not break in, but like get a job there, to use the computer to get information on the moon's orbit. I feel like
Yeah,
that
it's a
takes
little
some
crazy.
know-how, you know?
Yeah.
So
well,
he's either really lucky or really skilled.
or it was just convenient
Very
script
cool.
writing.
Ooh,
Convenient.
shit. A
Very
lot of plot
convenient.
conveniences in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them.
But like speaking of plot conveniences, this is the part where suddenly all the news suddenly now knows, like as soon as NASA finds out the moon is out of orbit,
Instantly
like
leaked.
the head of NASA is like, "Hey guys, everybody keep their fucking mouths
Yeah,
shut."
keep this under wraps.
3
Immediately.
seconds later.
3 seconds
Oh,
later,
you
ev-
better look at this, boss.
yeah,
It's the
everybody's
classic.
phone is going on.
Yeah.
One phone, then two phones,
Ding,
then all the
ding.
phones.
And like it's like these Twitter
you
messages
saying
that are
this?
like, "The moon is out of orbit." And it's like, dude, if I saw that coming from Twitter, I'd be like, "Ah,
This
God."
is fake news.
Yeah, this is
I wouldn't
fucking,
believe that
like some guy
immediately.
smoking crack again. Like, come on.
Oh, and
You realize anyone can buy a phone and say stuff, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
seriously.
like the whole world instantly cares. I was like, there's no way all you Americans would just be like, oh yes, I believe that because
Well, like,
apparently it came from NASA.
I don't know. Like, it feels like they almost give us a time jump here. Because, like, the minute that the news breaks that the moon is out of orbit, like,
The world
the
is
next
falling
scene
apart.
they show us is like, the world is in chaos. Looting is now England's favorite thing to do.
Yeah, like instantly, people just start looting and shooting.
Right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'll be dead in 3 days. Might as well watch a
Well,
70-inch
I mean,
TV.
That's.
Even though my
we
cable
can't be
doesn't work.
surprised
Yeah,
that that's the reaction because people do that even when the world's not ending.
that's true.
At least they had an excuse, I guess. But like, geez, like it literally shows like this landscape shot of like L.A. on fire with like
Yep.
helicopters and police and like.
I mean, that's just like every other week in the summer, but
Right?
oh, welcome to June in Los Angeles.
Wow. And in like 45 minutes, it gets smashed by like.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
By
that's the
moon
only
rocks.
real footage they used in that whole movie was LA on fire.
Oh my god.
I was surprised at how 8-10 years ago some of the CGI looked
Yeah.
like for landscapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the backgrounds, they were so detached from.
I was gonna say
Everything in the
there's
foreground
something
is like,
about
oh
the
my
background. It was like the lighting of their faces versus the background was off or
It just
something.
Looked like you could draw where everything was stitched
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Like it almost felt like this entire movie was shot just on a green screen.
Oh,
and
it
they,
was,
Like, they took, like,
100%.
They took like an
100%.
afternoon.
100%.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Oh,
But
God.
no, that's where their budget went. Like they needed a room with a really big green screen.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll give you 140 million for it.
Oh yeah. I bet you if you look at behind the scenes, it's all just them in motion cap suits and green screens.
Yeah, in a green
Yeah.
room. Yep.
Oh.
Oh my god. But yeah, so the world is in utter chaos
Yes. Yes.
and we have no idea what we're going to do. But we're slowly starting to believe Nick Frost and his moon is a mega structure like
I'm sorry, I
theory.
didn't believe that the whole time until they showed me because I couldn't believe that that's what was actually gonna happen.
yeah. But like it basically like turns into a disaster movie from here. Like there's big tidal waves, there's like earthquakes, there's fires everywhere, like everybody's dying, like
Tsunamis.
tsunamis.
Mhm.
There's gravity waves.
But-
Gravity.
Before we move on, I feel like we have to talk about, there's good ways to carry a plot,
Yeah.
and cats peeing on the specific piece
Oh my
of
God, I almost
paper
forgot
that
about
you
that.
need.
Oh my god.
That's not the best plot carrying device.
Yeah,
There's
well-
other ways to do it
Yeah.
that are a lot better.
So that's how Nick Frost finds Patrick Wilson. He's in his house and he has this whole information that he's like, all right, I know the moon's out of orbit. Like, I got to get this to NASA. How am I going to do it? And his cat just happens to be peeing on the newspaper around the litter box.
that he put down around the litter box.
And this
himself.
specific article happens to have disgraced hero Patrick Wilson and his exact meeting place and time he's going to be there. And Nick Frost is like, oh my God, Fluffy, you're a genius.
And then with those same papers, they do it again later.
Yeah.
When he finally meets him and just throws it like,
randomly.
"Hey,"
Oh my
he's
God,
getting
yeah.
hauled out by security. You got to read this.
Michael, it was our ancestors the whole time. They were
have been.
controlling
No,
the
but
papers.
They were
seriously.
controlling the cat and made
Yeah.
it pee.
Yep.
No, but seriously, that I saw that scene, but I was like, holy shit, that literally was the same plot convenience.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
They just did it twice, like 5 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Because like after Patrick Wilson is like, oh my God, yeah, the moon is definitely like out of orbit. Like,
Which
let me,
it takes him like 2 weeks longer
Yeah.
to figure this out than everybody else for some reason.
he
We
doesn't
thought
have
we
his
only
phone
had a
on
few,
him.
like, somebody said like 30 hours or something.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
turned into days.
Yeah.
Turned into
But-
absolute days.
But yeah, like he's digging through like the trash at the place that Nick Frost met him at. And he's like, I'm looking for these very specific documents. And they're like, well, luckily sanitation hasn't been here in a while. You should be able to find them. And like immediately the security guard looks down and is like,
Right
oh,
there.
do these happen to be your orbital out of balance sheets?
Yeah. Specifically knows the name. And then no one mentioned that they smelled like cat piss at all. But it's just the paper was the info
Yeah.
to get. And they did it 3 times. The papers to him. He loses the papers. He finds them again. I guess 3 times with the same
I just
thing.
love him being like, I'm looking for these very special documents. I threw them out by mistake. And he's like, oh, it wouldn't happen to be these orbit calculation papers that are in perfect.
That are right by my foot.
The security guard
conveniently.
used to, is a retired physics professor or
Yeah.
something.
They're definitely not soaked in the rain or anything else that happened.
Oh, man. Oh, this movie.
Oh,
A few holes.
Just a few here
Just
and
a
there.
few holes in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of holes, there's a hole in the moon. And we find
There's a
out
hole
that
in
it's,
the
what, 25 kilometers deep?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm not paying attention to the numbers at this point.
But yeah, so like, while all this is happening and Patrick Wilson is trying to get to NASA, Halle Berry is now the head of NASA, and they're like, all right, we got to figure out what's going on with the moon.
Yeah.
So they send 2 manned crafts. I think one was from China and one was from, the US.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal was like get to the moon and figure out what's going on.
Right. We got to go
Yeah,
there to
good
look.
plan.
Why is there a big hole in it?
Right, like why
Yeah.
couldn't they do anything else? Like they couldn't like try to run numbers or send like a non-manned camera out into space. Like none of that was an option. No?
I mean, their whole goal was to put this drone in the hole in the moon. Like, I feel like you could have just launched like a remote controlled drone into
Yeah,
space.
if they
Well, they
did
don't
that-
have remote controlled space shuttles.
Well, yeah, because all of them are in museums.
Yeah, that's very true.
They make that a point.
But the
constantly.
things you specifically need to save the world are conveniently in this specific warehouse that's 8 feet away.
Yeah.
Yes, but also if they didn't send people up there, then the nanotech monster thing
Couldn't Doc
wouldn't
Ock.
have come out. So
Couldn't have punched these astronauts directly
went-
in the face.
He
Yeah.
went completely Doc Ock and just
Oh,
tentacle
Ka-chow,
hand him
ka-chow.
right in the face.
it's like, what is that? I don't know, but it's in my face now.
and for some reason this nanotech cloud wants to kill humans.
Well, yeah, because our forefathers pissed it off.
Yeah, but like
It's good plot devices.
good plot. Good
Yes,
plot.
Great
Great stuff.
plot. So
Never tell them where the villain comes from.
But
Ever.
yeah, so this manned mission fails, and they suddenly believe, Patrick Wilson now, because, back in 2011, he's like, there was something out there, and it was definitely headed for the moon. They're like,
Mhm.
you're crazy. You're a disgraced hero.
Yep. And so then they go looking for him.
Yeah.
And immediately find him.
Magically know exactly what floor on this random hotel in like on the coastline.
Yeah. They can track him by his like cell phone or something.
Yeah, if he's got a cell phone, they can find him. It's NASA.
Yeah.
But like he opens the door when they actually show up for him, like so nonchalant. He's like, "Hello? Oh yeah, a bunch of military. Yeah, I was expecting you. Come on in.
Right?
Let me put my pants on."
Room service looks a tad bit well armed today.
I was looking for the shrimp scampi, but I guess a bunch of military will work.
And then his buddy just like tags along. I don't really understand like how he got invited, but
Patrick Wilson clearly says, "I ain't going anywhere without him."
Yeah.
and they're like,
It's pretty explicit. It was kind of weird.
It's like, all right,
okay.
I guess that'll work.
All right.
We are NASA. We do follow orders from random men.
He points at him and says, "We need a little comic relief every now and then.
Look at
Get
him.
in the car."
Look at him. He wears glasses. He obviously knows what's happening.
He also does the numbers and things.
Yes, he was the first one to solve that the moon was out of orbit.
It is-
Unfortunately, nobody cared.
It is an odd coupling, though.
Yeah.
And then even more so with add Halle Berry.
Yeah,
to it.
you
Yeah.
fucking throw Halle Berry into the mix, and it's like, all right,
What's
What's
going
going
on?
what are we
on
doing
here?
here? But yeah, so they get Patrick Wilson back to NASA, and they explain to him the situation, and they're like, all right, here's our plan. We're going to fly a spaceship to the moon, and we're going to set off this, like, EMP device to try and block out these nanobots.
Yeah, because we
Because we saw
made
the
one.
Matrix.
we made one of these before.
Yes.
So
And clearly it will work
Here
on
you go.
alien nanotechnology.
But, like, the thing about this bomb is they literally tell you, okay, so the project we had started for this, after Patrick Wilson came back in 2011, they scrapped the project because they were like, nah, this is stupid. We're not actually going to need this. But, like, magically they just have a complete bomb.
yeah,
out of
they
nowhere.
finished their work. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
in
yeah.
the span of, what, like 30 minutes, they finished a fully complete bomb?
No, they said the program was shut down. That just means
Oh.
we found good results, so now we're hiding it from the
you mean
public
it was
forever.
yeah.
It's a cover up. There's been a
yep,
couple in the film. you
Oh,
know?
you mean they wrote themselves into a corner and then they were like, oh shit, we just need this bomb to work.
Yeah,
no, I think that's just how
something
they wrote it, and they didn't know they wrote themselves in a corner. If I'm being
like-
honest.
They didn't realize what they just did actually
They're
until
like-
they watched it back and they're like, oh shit.
I think the whole movie was just a series of accidents.
No,
So
I can just.
it was just a bunch of papers they threw up in the air and then wherever they landed, that's the plot line.
I can just see it now. It's like, Johnny, remind me to add that one very important note that explains why they're doing this. It's like, Tim, the movie's been out for 3 weeks now. Ah, damn it.
I was sleeping.
We'll put it on the special features.
Put it in the director's
We don't
cut.
make DVDs anymore.
We'll call it the director's cut. They'll never know.
All
Oh
right.
my god! Yeah.
Are we
so-
halfway through the movie
well,
yet?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're about an hour into this, and there's still about an hour and 10 minutes left.
so the manned missions
Mhm.
get there,
Yep.
send the drone down. It confirms the depth, but then something starts pushing the drone back up,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns out to be the swarm.
The Schwarm.
And they get
The Schwarm.
smashed,
Yeah, everybody dies.
and everybody's real shocked,
Yeah.
but strangely calm about it. No
They're all
one was
just like,
screaming.
We knew this was coming. However,
This
we are
was
very
always
sad
a
about it.
possibility.
We always knew they would die. However, I didn't want to watch it.
And then I'm pretty sure everyone just was like, well,
All right, next mission.
let's quit.
Yeah, I think that's when the director of NASA is just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hang out with my family before I die.
Well, he walks up to her and was like, "You've been gunning for my job. Here it is. You wanted the Q clearance. You got it."
You
and hands her
bitch.
his lapel badge.
He's like, you bitch. I knew you were always coming for my job.
Well, because we had
You
to
set up this whole alien thing to take it from me.
I'm not going down with the ship.
the plot somehow had to put Halle Berry and the Goofy duo together.
Yep.
So the only way for her to do that is if she's the director of NASA.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to get that is if he says, "I quit," and gives her the tool to do it.
Yep.
Very convenient. I love
Yep.
it.
it takes away any conflict between like them arguing about what to do.
Well, like, it's crazy how much they skip, like, plot detail wise, and this movie is still 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it was just a bunch of CGI.
Yeah, they're like, look, these people don't care about the plot. They just want to see the world explode a little bit.
This is one of those films where you could take like every third scene out, and
Yeah.
it would be the same movie.
Cut this
Yeah,
down to
you
a
get the
crisp
gist.
140. I think you got a solid.
Cut this down to a don't push the play button.
But
Nah,
yeah,
it's wild for sure.
oh my god! But
and
yeah,
it just keeps. Now I think the last hour it starts getting
it gets extra
where
crazy
you were
now.
like, oh, we're going here,
Mm-hmm.
and then, oh, we're going here.
Oh, and
then
now we're going
now
here?
we're here.
it's like, how the
Well,
fuck
there
did we
can't
get
be
here?
any more there. Oh,
Oh,
look,
there's
more.
more.
here.
Oh wait, my GPS fucked up, and now we ended up here.
Right? Just keeps on getting more and more absurd.
Oh,
But yeah,
God.
so now they have their trio of people. You got your Patrick Wilson, you got your Nick Frost, and you got your Halle Berry, and they're like, all right, we're gonna man this one last final
We'll
mission.
do it ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get this EMP up here, because like at this point all of NASA has cleared out, because Halle Berry was just like, you know what, fuck it, this seems like a lot of work. Let's get everyone out of here.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time we see the planet really getting affected by it.
Yeah,
where
'cause this
we
is like
start
the whole
seeing the
gravity
water
waves.
coming up in the distance and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gravity waves coming as they're trying to launch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Halle Berry sends everybody home because she's a good person.
Yeah, she's like, well, you're either gonna die at work or you're gonna die on your way
Leaving
home.
work.
You're either going to die at work or on your commute.
Would you like to die here, hanging out, or in your car, slightly frustrated?
Now, if you do decide to stay at work, just remember there is a strict no cell phone policy, so you will not be able to call your loved ones.
But we're making all the snack machine prices 0 cents.
If you can smash the glass, you can take all the
Right.
Dorito chips you want.
Oh, seriously though, all those people had to have died.
Oh, they're
like,
all dead.
immediately.
Even
100%
after some left, almost all left. Some still stay behind. Like
Yeah.
the one fella came and got him. It was like, you need to go up. You could see a couple people milling about, but
Yeah.
But I feel
they
like
could have just been idiots that just didn't hear anything.
They're like, nah, I don't believe it. This is all false news.
Yeah, like 75-80% of the population probably died during all of this, what was going on. Like, we saw towns being destroyed by meteors and
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
flooding
So,
and
At
oh
the
my
end
God.
of the film, the save the world is a bit of a overstatement.
yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
because
It's
the
kinda-
world is crumbling
It's
apart.
completely
As,
smashed.
as
Yeah.
far as we're concerned, by the end of this, the only people who survived were the people who got screen time.
Basically, and it wasn't. And floods are one thing for cities. You see the big wave of water going in, but like the meteor showers, another thing that's done a lot.
Mm.
But most of the time, it's 1 or 2
Yeah.
hitting, and this was just like
was a-
70,000.
This
Yeah,
was
it was
a
a
tidal
lot.
wave of meteors.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so our trio launches their mission, and they get up into space, and they realize, oh shit, the nanobots aren't gonna fall for like our EMP bomb trick, because Nick Frost brought his cell phone so he could take selfies in space.
Well, yeah, somehow they figure out that the nanotechnology only can detect them if they have electronics and there is a human body
Yeah.
in
Organic
the
tissue
same
and
place.
electronic devices
it-
set it off.
It needs to be very convenient situations.
Yeah.
You need to have your iPod
Well,
and be
it's-
breathing.
It's the difference between the life bringer and the life taker. Like it's the balance of everything.
Ah, yes.
Yes, the life bringer and taker.
The yin yang of the world.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it is. You know what I mean?
The juxtaposition of love and hate.
Right?
Murphy.
That's pretty. That's
It's
pretty much it.
incredible.
Oh yeah.
That was very eloquently said.
That's
Michael.
why they.
Thank
That's
you.
why they. Yeah. Which is really too much for this film.
Yes.
You can really see them sending a message when Patrick Wilson
There, we got-
smashes Nick Frost's phone.
We
He's
got.
saying, get off the Twitter and experience life.
we got a deep truth out of it. Now continue slandering the film.
Yeah. So like up until this point where they're like, okay, we're gonna try to stop this nanotech, it's mostly been like science and technology, but then it kind of goes into a completely different direction of like spiritual ancestor I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, so like they survive their run-in with this cloud, and they decide, all right, we got to go like further into the moon.
Well, because they smash all the cell phones.
Yeah, they smash
Yeah.
all the cell phones, so they can't call home at this point. So they're pretty much
The
screwed.
reception was
Cannot
bad.
phone
Yeah,
home.
Regardless.
Yeah, and he smashes the detonator to this EMP, but don't worry, guys. It still works. It's
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
He didn't smash it all the way. He just smashed it like most of the way.
Just smashed it enough where it shut off for about 10 minutes so
Just
that,
for that
the plot
scene.
could
Just for that
could
scene.
continue.
Yep, and then
Yeah.
it just like came back on magically without him doing
Yeah.
anything to fix it.
Yeah,
He just unsmashed it real fast.
Oh, and can I also mention
Yes, please.
them flying through space, and like when something starts to go wrong, they just kind of like sit and wait to see if something happens. Like they don't even try to do any astronaut things. Like they're not hitting any buttons or turning any
No,
knobs.
it's like, imagine if The Martian, like that whole final scene was just like Matt Damon guessing like what's about to happen. He's like, all right, I'm going to blast the jet for about 13 seconds. See what happens. And he gets hit by like 3 asteroids. And he's like, damn, that didn't work. All right, let's try it again. 14 seconds.
Yeah, like I don't think you have that much like wiggle room in
Yeah,
space.
I feel like giant
No.
rock hurtling towards thing with
Well,
fuel makes explosion.
Well, but there's
Boom,
no
boom.
air for it to explode. You know, Steve, come on.
Yeah,
yeah, but
basic
there was
science.
plenty of explosions in space.
But
all right?
it all depends on your relative speed to the object. So if you're both moving in the same direction, it's moving just a little bit faster. It'll bump you like it did in the film, but it won't smash you because the relative speed is close.
Thank you for joining us for Michael's science
you.
There's
lesson.
your space
Thanks,
lesson
Mike.
for the day.
I will say I wish I knew more about like astronauts and astrophysicists just so I could be like, that's wrong and that's wrong, because I'm sure there's so many.
Where's
of
Neil
those.
deGrasse Tyson when you need him? Like, let's watch this movie with him and be like, buddy, what do you think? And he's like, this movie was terrible.
Yeah, we're gonna have a guest. On our
Factually
podcast.
accurate, however. But
No.
yeah, so they go further. They go further into the moon, and they discover like that there's magically a door inside of the moon,
Yep.
Yes.
and
Well,
there's-
he wasn't flying.
no, he
so
was not.
they get pulled in, the sticks moving and the ship's going, and it makes them crash land in a door.
yeah.
Yep. And then the nanotechnology just misses and runs into the door, and the nanotechnology cannot open the door.
And they go out of the
So-
way to show you
Now,
that it can't go through the door.
Right.
You have to watch it slam against the door like 6 times.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to clarify for those listening at home. Yes, this is as stupid as we are making it sound.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a bit wild from here on
now
out.
keep in mind, you have been watching this movie for about an hour and 40 minutes at this point,
And you're just like, what is going
and there's
on?
still a half hour left to go. So here we go.
Man.
They somehow, the
Yeah,
computer technology of our ancestor humans
Created like
made
a
the atmosphere
yes.
in there so they
Yeah.
woke back up and they could breathe.
and
Yes.
somehow Patrick Wilson has
He's
like,
gone.
Yeah, he's just
They-
gone from the
they
ship.
sucked him in with their
He was
like
chosen.
yes.
He was the chosen.
He
one.
was chosen.
But he's like in the separate part of this like doorway.
Mhm.
and-
He's in the Matrix.
Yeah, and the aliens are basically telling Patrick Wilson the entire truth of our universe, which is that
This is the 13 seconds of explaining
Yes.
in the
Well,
film.
and this little snippet is like the most information they give you all at once, and then like
That's
as
it.
soon as Patrick Wilson's like, "Wait, I don't understand," they're like, "Hold on, there's more," and then they keep going. Like,
They do
it's
that
so
twice.
Funny.
they're like, all right, now get this shit. Your ancestors created Earth, but then they also created this halo outside of Earth. And they created this artificial intelligence, which you peasants call it. And it eventually took over and killed everyone. But some of your ancestors survived, built this superstructure called the moon.
And cultivated the planet Earth for billions
Now-
of years.
Yes,
They-
in a different galaxy, far, far away.
Now what
so
they
that
did,
life might last again.
they saw that this sun was good for harvesting human life. So they spun in a circle and created the Earth. And on the third day, your ancestors said, "Let there be moon."
Let there be Earth.
Let there be Earth in that case.
And Patrick,
So it just he's serious. The
Yes.
thing spins around and there's the Earth.
Yes.
And then it time lapses the surface, going
Millions
through
of
like lava and
billions
ice age
of
and
years.
water and
Billions
everything.
of
And I
years.
just love Patrick Wilson's like, all right, what do you want me to do with this information? And they're like, we need one human dumb enough to kill themselves for the rest of humankind.
We need a human sacrifice.
What we
Well,
need
that's
you
what-
to do
That's what they said. So.
Yeah.
is strap yourself to the bomb and give that nanotech a little smooch. And he's
And
like,
this is what they've been leading up to for billions
and they
of
kinda-
years.
They
No.
kind of it's 100% peer pressure because they're like, we're your ancestors and we all died so that we could have the chance to put our DNA to get humans again, maybe.
It's
So
like-
you owe us one person.
you know,
You owe us one.
we
You
were
owe us
also
one.
considering Jim over there, and he was much cooler of a guy. He would have killed himself for humanity, so
Wow,
the moon
what
could
is-
go back into orbit.
Guilt tripping him.
What is interesting is he's 100% accepting of that.
He's
Yeah.
like,
And
all right, I'll
he-
do it
He purposely keeps that plan away from the two crew members
until the last
until
second.
the last second. And of course, so we get that information dump. The very next scene is them responding to him in the light vacuum or whatever.
Oh my god, this is one of the best moments. We all started like
And
laughing.
They run up to him,
And
and
they're like, "Oh my god, are you okay?"
And
he
he's
comes out and just starts immediately
Rambling.
It just verbatim what the aliens were saying.
It's like, we're a part of an intergalactic war that's been raging for
It was just
billions of
instant.
years.
It was
And they're all like,
instant.
"What the hell, dude?"
No, but that's the thing. They don't even question it. They're just like, okay,
Okay.
tell us more.
And it was exactly the same amount of time.
He's
They're
like-
like, "Yup, that's true."
He's like, you
Moving
don't
on.
You don't understand. We have to lead the nanobots away from the moon because the moon's defense systems are down. But don't worry, our defense systems are still working.
I was not expecting this movie to be this at all.
No, I'm
Oh,
telling you, this was like they dropped 3 tabs each, and they were just
Yeah.
like, yo, what if the moon was like people?
What if the moon was made from like people, but not
What
like
if-
us people, like our ancestors?
What if the pilgrims were in space?
Well, there still was the pilgrims. but-
What if instead of corn, they made artificial intelligence, bro?
Jesus Christ.
So they start their mission to detonate the EMP.
Yeah.
Leading, they're going to lead the self-replicating singularity away and detonate the EMP.
That's a sick band
And-
name, by the way.
Yeah.
Detonate the EMP.
Self-replicating
Or
Yeah,
that.
self-replicating singularity. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty
So
meta.
It's like a tech death band. Let's go.
This is where he unveils the plan where someone has to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah.
And of
It's
course,
gonna be me.
yep.
But it's so funny because Halle Berry's just like, no, there's got to be a different way. And Patrick Wilson's just like, no, there is no other way. Did you not hear what the light beams told me?
Ugh.
He did get kind of followery-ish.
Yeah, he
Like,
went real
He's
hard.
like, I'm in a space cult now. You're dumb.
I don't think you understand. I'm a little bit more enlightened than most people.
I've been what you call enhanced.
I don't know if you saw the sacred lights like I have, but my interpretation
Have you
was much
communed?
different.
With the ancestors? I don't think you have. You know why? You don't see it in your aura.
Yeah, I can see auras now. It's just something they gave me.
My word.
Peasant. And then our underdog.
Oh yeah, while they're
Yeah.
arguing, right
Yep.
under their noses,
Yep.
slips into the escape capsule or whatever
Yes.
with the bomb.
And
like,
you
"Don't
know, it's
worry."
also obvious now that he's gonna
Yeah.
sacrifice himself.
He's like, don't worry, Patrick Wilson. Nobody ever listened to me before, but now they'll never listen to me again
Now,
because
I'll
I'm
be
about
dead.
to die.
you know how we were saying the problems about being in space?
Yeah.
If that's a space-proof capsule, how the hell can I hear them?
Yeah.
How are they having a conversation through the
Through the
space-proof
glass.
stuff?
And she can hear them whispering like 10 feet behind her.
in the back of the spaceship.
They're all
Yeah.
magically on comms together, but nobody's wearing like headsets or earpieces.
Well, they couldn't
Well, I think
be
it's
because
built in.
their spaceship worked without electricity for some reason.
Yeah, I
at
was going to
points.
say, they're like, we're not using electricity, but also our spacesuits are being powered right now by
Everything's
something.
electric. You're not
Yeah.
breathing if there's no electricity
Right?
running.
Like, and there's like lights on the spaceship. what? Like, how do you turn the lights on without electricity?
It's
the
just a lot
technology
of
can't see the lights.
it's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of hamsters just really going for it.
Oh yeah.
It's actually all just like flames. It's a bunch of candles.
Yeah.
They took
Well,
out
so
the lights.
We have our touching goodbye scene.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
Check in on
Patrick,
my mom.
I always loved you. Please tell my mother I said I love her too.
Check up on mom.
Yeah.
He's like, I will. And then he drifts off.
Like I love Patrick Wilson. Literally, like I know it's like supposed to be the dramatic hand against the glass, but it literally looks like he's just like waving real quick. He
He's
just
like-
gives him like a
Yeah, it's
bye.
kind of weird. It's
Thanks
a
for
little. It's a
dying.
little awkward.
And they're staring into each other's eyes, like,
It's like I could have kissed him. I didn't want to.
oh my god.
I know Halle Berry had dibs.
And then, while all of this is going on, the moon is literally about to crash into the earth, like
crapping on the
like-
planet.
meters away.
It's
From a
basically
mountain.
teabagging the world right now.
Yeah, it gets so close that it just like knocks over one mountain.
It's like fuck this mountain
Well,
in particular.
That's really good because the hole that they need to escape from
happens
to be right at the lowest point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they literally fall into Colorado.
Yeah,
No, it's like
where
we
their
said-
children are also, by the
Yeah,
way.
this is very great timing because like literally the bomb goes off, they go flying out of this hole, and like you just see like the worst CGI ever, but it's like the moon doing a drive-by, and then all of a sudden like a moon lander capsule just like pops out of like nowhere because like they forgot
just
to
shits out a little.
like they forgot to animate like it coming from a distance and like getting into the foreground. It's
Yeah.
just in the
It just
foreground.
appears.
No, it's just here.
Yeah.
It's like,
Here.
oh my god,
We're
we made it.
And we didn't even talk about the whole thing with the kids, but like there's all this
There's
drama.
no point.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah,
like,
none of that stuff
basically
matters.
they're in Colorado and they happen to just run into their parents right then. Like, I mean, I think a helicopter comes and
No,
picks them up.
It
but
literally reminds me of The Happening, where like they
Yeah, of
they
course
find
it does.
the news where it's like you got to go 90 miles away from this area, and everybody just goes 90 miles in any fucking direction they can.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it was everybody just suddenly decided they're like we gotta go to Colorado.
yeah,
It's the
it's
only
like-
safe place.
Well,
don't
I'm
understand
telling you, there's a military underground in the Rocky Mountains out there in Colorado.
Yeah, but all the military died
they all
in their
got shit
underground.
on.
Well, that
bunkers.
was just the one room, I think.
Oh,
just
the
yeah.
one
Just
room?
all the
Just
important
the one
people
room.
died.
Well, I mean, they showed whole cities get obliterated. They only showed the one room.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
But
one of the
yeah.
last things you see also is like New York just getting fucked by
Oh my god,
meteors.
right in the butt with meteors.
Like New York is no more.
It
They're
trashed
It's
the
gone.
planet for sure.
Yeah.
But
Oh
they
my-
saved the world, and we say that loosely.
Oh my
Oh,
god. And
what
then
was
A
this
lot of things
line.
got crapped on.
Oh, the Halle Berry line. Do you want to say it? Say
What's the line?
She was like, well, we saved the world. And if Earth gets a second chance, we should too. And Patrick Wilson's like, yeah, we should.
We
Yeah.
should.
And then, like, miraculously, his entire family just comes out
Like,
of the
appears.
wilderness.
Yeah.
Like, he landed in the middle of fucking nowhere.
And he's like, my son.
He's like, my son, you have survived.
And that was definitely the first throwaway line in the film.
Oh, yeah.
For
It
sure.
definitely took 2 hours to get the first throwaway line. There definitely wasn't 64 of them earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see just a wild time, you really gotta just
Yeah,
watch.
no, but I just love when, all right, so, like, the family comes out of the woods, and, like, Patrick Wilson looks at his ex-wife. He's like, where's your husband? She just gives him, like, that shake, like he didn't make it, and he's like, good, fuck that guy.
Right?
Best thing
No,
I said
he's-
to him was he was a
He
smart.
literally was like, I'm so sorry, but he was like
He's, like,
smirking.
smiling.
You knew what he was thinking. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, back in it, baby. Back in it, baby.
I think the pickup line of "I saved the Earth"
What
will
is it?
fucking get me something tonight.
What's the Ace Ventura line? So you're telling me there's a chance?
Oh my god, he just like gets home and he's like, "Babe, did I mention our ancestors built the moon?
Right?
And they chose me.
Now,
I am Moon Knight."
on the one hand, they tie up most of the loose ends.
Except they don't
Yeah,
show.
because everybody dies that they don't feel like ending
Well,
the plot line.
That doesn't
to.
mean they don't tie up all the loose ends.
they don't show Patrick Wilson going back and saying hello to the mama for for what's his name.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they don't
that's
show that. That
They
would have
don't
been
show that.
cool.
But they do show him in like the
Yeah, Nick
all
Frost.
white, like the Matrix.
Yeah,
world.
he's in the loading
Um,
screen essentially.
Yes.
So am I the only one that before we see the nerdy fella in the white room,
Yeah.
that I thought the movie was over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it just like
Kept
it just
going a little?
flat, it just like kind of like lingered a bit, and then just flashes to him.
Well,
Right.
yeah, because we need the setup for Moonfall
And then-
too.
Right, it's basically
It
we
felt like
understood
it.
after we watched it, but
Yeah, it
So,
felt like a cliffhanger.
immediately confused because dude got light vacuumed and
Yep.
and survived.
Yeah.
And
Well-
this guy's like permanently light vacuumed. They're like,
Well,
we
yeah.
scanned your
your consciousness.
your consciousness.
He's now part of the
so
moon.
he's now Johnny Depp in Transcendence, but he's now the moon.
And it was like his mom talking to him, explaining what was going on. And she's like, "You're part of the moon."
Morpheus comes
Yeah.
walking out.
So what am I? It's like, you
You're
are
the
the moon. It's just like, oh my
What?
word. Because everything was getting crazier and crazier and crazier. We think the movie's over. Then it's immediately something crazier that gets crazier again.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the heck? Oh, he's in the moon
No,
computer
he
now?
is the moon.
He's the moon. He's the moon computer.
Well, I mean,
And-
this is all a metaphor for the Matrix.
Well,
because
and,
like,
and then
if
they
you
do
think
set
about
up a sequel.
Well,
They
with
do.
we
I
have
mean-
so much to show you, or you have
They're
much
like,
to
"Let's
learn.
get
Let's
started."
get started. It's
And
like,
he's
what
like,
kind of project is this?
Get started on
Well,
what?
I
And then
mean-
it cuts away, and that's the end of the movie.
But like, I'm serious. This is all just a metaphor for the Matrix. Because if you notice, like, he's like all throughout the movie, Nick Frost is taking pills, and they're all red or blue pills. So he took the blue pill up and to like see how far the rabbit hole goes, and then his final action is taking the red pill. So he plugs himself back into the Matrix and becomes
No.
the moon.
Oh my God.
Well, why would
This
the-
is a
why would
Matrix
the-
prequel.
Yeah, but the Matrix wouldn't reward you for breaking the rules.
Yeah, but this is a good form of the
Ah,
Matrix.
Steve,
this is
Steve.
before
Are
the
you-
architect took
Steve.
over.
Is this a
Steve.
film theory, Steve?
Yes, I think
That's just a theory.
I think I'm correct on this. I think
A
I've
Steve theory.
I figured out Moonfall. Follow me for more podcast tips.
Follow me for more podcasts.
For
But
more
one
movie
specific.
tips.
Yeah,
Movie.
for specifically Moonfall. Follow me and I'll help you out.
All in all, bad storytelling,
2 out of 12. Terrible.
bad
Terrible movie.
bad storytelling.
We could have
Some
used that
visuals-
$140 to buy something else.
140 million.
Yeah, to buy
Some of the
anything
visuals
else.
were okay, and some were not okay.
Some of this movie was not okay.
Most of this
Most
film
of this
was
movie
not
was
okay.
not okay. But I mean, it was quite the thing to watch, I guess. I don't know. It was
I mean,
entertaining.
it was crazy. It was definitely a fun watch,
yeah.
and definitely fun talking about it. But it's not winning any awards,
no.
and it's not scoring good on anything.
No.
And it
But
didn't
it was
make its
fun.
money back.
But it was fun. I don't care about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for mindless garbage, yeah, check it out.
I mean, they probably made like 50 cents off of our watch. So
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
They're getting
You're
there
welcome,
slowly.
HBO.
They're counting on residuals.
The streaming services.
No one's getting
don't make a lot of
residuals
money.
from this movie.
They're like-
Let's be honest.
They're like, guys, we're 50 cents short for paying Patrick Wilson's salary. If only somebody would stream Moonfall. Oh, a mediocre podcast is covering it. We'll get so
Good.
much attention.
We now can afford the $7 we're paying him.
Oh my god. But yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's Moonfall
that's
for
Moonfall.
you.
The
Oh
moon,
God.
the
The
moon
moon-
actually goes back and everything's fine.
Yeah, everything.
So,
Yes.
So the moon
the
didn't fall
title's
that much.
wrong. First of all,
Because the moon
it
rose.
should be
I-
the
I
moon
s-
kind of falls.
I still think this would have been a better James Bond, like, shitty plot. Like, instead of Patrick Wilson, it's just Daniel Craig.
You know, I
It's like, Moneypenny, I have to stop the moon from landing.
I feel like this was a 2 hour and 10-minute movie that felt rushed. Like they rushed to make it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
there was,
also, how do you rush and have this much film you're trying
you
to
mean
use?
like production wise, it
Like,
felt rushed.
It-
Yeah.
It felt they were like, we need a really substantial thing with crazy stuff happening, and then they just rushed and slapped something together.
Yeah, it's like they spent too much time on the CG and they didn't spend enough time on the plot. It's like they made the animated like parts of it before they made the story. That's what it felt like.
Wouldn't it be really cool if meteors hit New York? Cool, do it. It's like, yeah, but what's the story around that? It doesn't fucking matter.
Just make some shit up.
I'm on my 3rd line of coke, and I just want to keep this buzz going.
You know, I'm really thinking the name Moonfall would work, so maybe we write a story around that. Like maybe if the moon like fell or something.
Brilliant. How do we get the moon to fall? Well,
they work backwards from Moonfall.
Well, yeah.
What if these like
Some comedians start with the punchlines and work backwards.
like some random
You're
guy,
allowed to write it however you want. Just sometimes it's just not good.
some random guy in the back of the office is just like, all right, so like what if these like nanobots are like really heavy and they like drill into the moon and like cause it to fall?
But also, let's make it drilling into the moon take 1 billion years.
It takes exactly 10 years from 2011 to 2021 specifically. That long. It's that long. we gotta let technology catch up to modern times.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, what else can we say? It's Moonfall.
Yeah, it was quite the doozy, and you know, I agree with Steve. I think 2 out of 12 is a
2
good
out of
rating.
12.
Yep.
You know what they say? 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but 2 out of 12 is pretty okay.
That's not a saying.
not.
It's just a bad score, and we understand that anyways.
Yeah. But yeah.
Not very well done,
No.
but a fun watch.
Yeah.
It was quite the time. I'll never watch it again unless I'm just in a mood, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and if you want to chuckle or two,
Yeah.
definitely.
You know, I think I want to
definitely
actually
chuckled a few times
like,
at how bad stuff was.
I actually want to be tripping next time we watch this movie.
Yeah, I
so
feel like that's the only way to watch
that'll
this.
help.
I don't think it's gonna help.
Aw.
I don't think anything would help this.
But all right. I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for us here at Every Film in the Book. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Look out for the moon.
Watch the moon fall.
The moon fall.
Well, it crumbles.
Yeah, sing it, Steve.
And you stand tall as you get hit by meteors. All right, bye.
Bye. All right, bye.